Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have from 1956 Skol Gold imported Virgin Islands rum. Must be the British Virgin Islands if it's imported. There is, this is very light. Look how light. It's making me think it's not colored. They don't use caramel color because it's so light. Rich gold rum from J.A. Doherty's Sons Company. Distillers, J.A. Doherty, an Irish immigrant to the United States. Started a whiskey company. His two sons made it really popular, and they were like a big old deal for a while. And then, as usual, they got bought out later on. The descendants sell it. Now it's a Sazerac brand. The J.A. Doherty's, it says Owensboro, Kentucky. That's Glenmore Distilling, which they say today, I think it even says on the Sazerac website. Yeah, it does. Today it's just a bottling plant in Owensboro. It used to be a distillery, Glenmore. Sazerac needs to update their website. I did call them the other day, and the guy was like, yeah, I know they're working on it. They got these technician people updating because they had two big buyouts at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, and they want to add all the brands to it, and they might be trying to reformat it, make it look more modern, up to date. They're opening the Sazerac Experience there in New Orleans, and if they follow the lead of Pabst Blue Ribbon, Pabst Brewing Company, in about 6 or 7 years the website will be updated. I'm making fun, but that's how Pabst is doing a terrible job with their website. No information, can't get any facts about the beer. You say, well, look on their Facebook page. There's nothing there. It's up pictures about, oh, look, we hosted this barbecue to raise money for this charity in Denver and all. It's like nothing helpful. Want to look at a real website with real information? Look at Anheuser-Busch or Miller Coors. Give you each beer and they give you a rundown of it. Helpful, see, helpful. You get people like Pabst Brewing, and they got somebody buying them out. They get a new owner about every 3 years, and it just seems to get a little worse. Sazerac, my experience with them is they'll probably get it together pretty soon because they seem to have it kind of more in check on how to do things properly. Of course, they did have two big problems at their distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. The Bardstown 1792 with the barrel house collapsing, the rick house collapsing last year, and then this year with the big accident where they dumped out all the bourbon mash on the ground and injured two people. This huge vat. Jeremy Vincent says, cheers, Ron. Cheers to you. Good morning. I don't think this is going to be much of a challenge. Sunday wasn't. I had no time to do challenge yesterday. I was thinking about doing a beer challenge. And I was like, I don't have time for this because I had to go to work all day, and I came home, and then I had to go teach the religion class at 6. And my nose. And then it was my birthday, so I had these Facebook, all these people saying, happy birthday, which I appreciate, but then you want to answer people. I don't just check off a like, thanks, get lost, you know what I mean? I tell them thank you, whatever. So that takes a while. And then I was like, no, there's no way I'm doing a beer challenge. So I just drank one Bud Ice 16-ounce can. Yes, poured into a glass, and one Bush. I mean, the Bush was fine. It's dull, you know. But I've always said that about Bush beer. It's so bland. But a lot of people like bland things. I don't really, but a lot of people do. So the Skol is just going to be lighter. It's a basic thing. I mean, it was $6.99 for this liter bottle at international market. But I've seen it at other places, not just there. The big Skol brand here is, and see, they don't have the umlauts on the O for some reason. It's different. If you look at this versus the Skol white label, it's white rum. It's a good deal different. International market, and it's kind of a strange product. The bottle's a little different. It's etched glass at the top. You might see that. It's like little crosses. Little crosses all the way around. Then we got the Bacardi Gran Reserva Diez. Porfirio Diaz. No, it's Diaz, not Diaz. It's like this wax emblem. It's real. Like they put it when it was hot and they put the stamp on it. It's smashed it out. Well, okay, so we're looking at $6.99 for a liter and $40 for a 750. You would hope this would easily win. But the one I did the other day against Castillo Gold, I don't know, that's like the oddest item. And it's made by Bacardi. But it smelled like olive oil and some kind of old, dank, almost rotted vegetable matter. Now, some of these experts that watch my channel, and I'm not making a joke about that. I mean, they're actually experts. They were working in the industry and stuff. They said, oh, well, you know, Castillo Gold is like the refuse that Bacardi gets rid of, like stuff that didn't, maybe it wasn't properly done or didn't come out right. It was off. They just put that in there. I don't know. I believe it, I think, because of tasting it. Now, does Jack Daniels do that kind of thing with their refuse, stuff that doesn't pan out? Yes, they make the green label, and then there's probably stuff that's even worse that really was off batch. Nah, they don't waste it. They probably put some, there's probably some off brands on the market in Tennessee around there, you know, that nobody else ever heard of, that they put out for real cheap. Be like, you know, golden corn, Tennessee whiskey. They have some strange brands like that floating around over there, and it's probably what it is. But then there might be people that like it because they don't want to spend a lot in it. They say it gets me drunk. And see, for people like that, and I'm not putting down those people, although you got to watch it, but for that, it would be fine. So we got the Gran Reserva Diez, which has been out a year, and the Skol, which has been out 63 years. Skol, I found the trademark was acquired 1956. 1956. It's been around a long time. But they're not going to taste anyway like one is not going to taste any way like the other. Believe me, believe you me. Skol has an exotic aroma. But oh yeah, what I wanted to say, the big Skol brand around here is the vodka. Oh, you can find the gin, the rum, as you can see, and whatever else they make. But the vodka is in every store around here. Skol, big bottles, 750 bottles, glass, liter bottles, glass, small bottles, really small bottles. Every store sells Skol vodka. Is it because it's cheap? Well, it ain't because it's expensive. I'm sure you could tell me what is the cheap stuff around where you live. You know what I mean? Like every town or region of the country has their cheap brand, you know, of beer, wine, or liquor that everybody buys. Everybody buys that, you know what I mean? Everybody that buys cheap stuff buys. As far as beer around here, it would be be like Keystone Light or Milwaukee's Best Light. That's everywhere around here. People buy that. They tried selling those really cut rate beers around here, like Milwaukee Special Reserve. They had a $10.99 a 30-pack, but they only sold it once. No repeat buyers. Man, even the old drunks in Louisiana have some taste. You know what I'm saying? We have Creole food, Cajun food, sort of like gourmet culture in that way. I mean, somebody might live in an old raggedy house, but they'll still be very particular about the food, you know, how much filet to add to the gumbo or whatever. So they couldn't bring themselves to buy that beer. But for vodka, we have Skol. Yes, Taka too. Taka's a little bit higher price. I mean, it's not high price. No, don't imagine that. And Dobra, you see Dobra, it's kind of pretty cheap. For wine, it would be what's the cheap wine around here? Well, when you really get degraded, it'd be like Thunderbird, MD 2020, and Wild Irish Rose. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not in every store. Like some stores, like we don't want to attract the wrong element if you follow my lead on that. So they won't sell it. I'm just talking about across the board. The cheap wine would be, Gallo Family. And it's not really cheap tasting. It's not like junky. You know, it's just inexpensive because Gallo is such a huge company and they mass produce stuff so to such a huge level that it's like a commodity. You know, it's like Hunt's ketchup. It's just their volume is so incredible. And it's gotten a lot more incredible as of last week because they bought out. They basically bought Constellation Brands. They left the skeleton, but they bought most of the body, which was shocking news. And Jean-Pierre's the first one posting that. I saw on Facebook. He always had an early insight on it. So, yeah, go to Racetrack gas station or Exxon. You know, they have On the Run. Well, that's all being converted into Circle K. If you notice, Circle K bought the On the Run contract, and it's kind of like with other industries. They're just taking over the convenience store thing around here. Just Circle K. They used to be On the Run. Shell has Big River, but I think that's getting ready to. So, oh well. So, what in your town is the cheap stuff? We, like I said, we got the Skol. Jeremy says Taka vodka isn't too bad if you're broke and want to feel good still. Ha ha ha. And Taka is a really old brand too. I think it goes back to 1952. And Sazerac was saying that because I saw a question air, they were saying, well, why do you call it Taka? And Sazerac was saying, well, we bought that from somebody, you know, and the man who started it died. It was like a man who owned it, like the Taka line. It was some little small distillery. And they said, well, he died. And he never did explain why he called it Taka. He wasn't Russian. But they said, we think he just was trying to make it sound Russian, you know, like sound like a Slavic thing, Eastern European thing. But they don't really know. But that's probably the best guess, you see. So, but you can look at old New Orleans Saints game, you know, New Orleans Saints football and Tulane football programs, you know, from the 1960s, which I have a lot of those. And it'd have ads all through it. Taka vodka. They're not like real expensive advertisements like you would see for like Jack Daniels or Seagram's gin. They're like two color, you know what I mean? They're like blue and silver ads. You know, they're like essentially black and white with one color added, or purple. So they're cheaper, you know. But they were around New Orleans all the time, like the Taste of New Orleans, Taka Vodka. And they would show a man and a wife at a nice restaurant like Gautro's or Galatoire's drinking it. I mean, when I was a little kid, I thought Taka was the most popular vodka in the world, because everywhere you go around here, you see billboards on every major highway. And that's always been the case in Louisiana. You won't see that in your town, I'm sure, but Taka everywhere. Taka mixes well, just add people. I've seen that since I was 3 years old. I couldn't even read back then. Taka mixes well, just add people. Taka, the Taste of New Orleans, you know, it goes on. And then they change the billboards all the time. Be Mardi Gras theme, summer, whatever. And I told my mama one time, I said, that must be the most popular drink, huh, Taka? And she said, no, it's just a cheap brand people buy. I said, oh, okay, I see the ads everywhere. She didn't like get repelled by it. She just said, what? She would have bought it, you know, because that's the kind of stuff she bought. She was very thrifty, if you want to say. So they would, and her mother was like that too, even more extreme. My grandmother, who died 3 years ago, she was even more extreme about that. And she wasn't poor, but maybe she got traumatized or something by the Great Depression when she was a little kid growing up, because she just acted like she was about to starve to death all the time, but she wasn't. But people told me a lot of people got like messed up in the head because of the Great Depression, which was made great because of the government. But we don't want to get into all that. It would have just been the Depression. I can show you that. I can demonstrate that the U.S. government took a depression that could have lasted about 2-3 years, and they made it way worse. But anyway, all right. Why? By some evil design? Probably just incompetence and bumbling. A lot of times we take it for an evil conspiracy, but it might just be these people are just that dumb. Okay. This has got to be the Skol because it's very bland in the nose. Oh, yeah, you get some sugar. Oh, yeah, you get some booze, alcohol, burn, you know, but it's just very faint. It smells like it should look. Very, very, very pale appearance and a very pale aroma. You know what I'm saying? But got to give it this. It doesn't have that bizarre rotted vegetable olive oil craziness aroma like the Castillo has. I mean, that thing doesn't even smell. You'd say, oh, this doesn't smell right. Now, yeah, so this doesn't smell like it's some refuse that a big company's trying to get rid of under a different brand. It just smells like this is what we made. It's cheap, but, you know, it's proper. It's just dull. You can live with that. Okay. But you probably can see what I can't see. This one is not too aromatic either, which got me a little concerned. I've said this again and again. Until you match them up, you can't get a good handle on it. In isolation, these things will just shine. But you put them in the competition and things start to break down. This one is even more boozy. Even more like what you want to say, grain alcohol. Yeah. And didn't I say that about Skol? I did say that. It smelled like just grain alcohol, but it's no grain. It's no grain. It's just sugar. Okay, well, you know, sugar alcohol, but yeah, if you want to go out and buy your $40 of liquor, $40 bottle of liquor, go ahead and do it, and you'll probably enjoy it. But don't put it in a competition. That'll be your last mistake, because then you'd be like jaded well, you see the rest of your life, you'd be buying $40 bottles thinking, am I getting ripped off? Because yeah, don't even go there. Don't even put it in competition, because you could just start second guessing every time you spend the 40 bucks, if you know what I'm saying. Nothing great about a depression. No, they don't mean great like hooray, it's here. They mean great like it's terrible, that it's big, you know, big. The Great War, 1914, the big war, you know, great in that sense. Okay, so I retract. This is the Skol. Gotta take a breath. Okay, and this is the Bacardi 10 year. Okay, I'm gonna look. I'm not gonna taste. I'm gonna look, and I know I'm right. I know I'm right. Yes, B10, Bacardi 10 year, and Skol. It's amazing that some of these, many of these, very many of these, you can guess it on aroma only. Beer too. Now you would think beer, no, beer's too fine. You know what I mean? Like too narrow. You could never guess beer on aroma only. Oh yes, you can. I've been demonstrating that. No, no, that does not make me so special, because you could probably do it too, right? You could do it too. All right, so taste. What's better? I mean, the smell, the Gran Reserva is better. But I said this on the first video, I do believe. I said, when I did the solo review, I said the aroma is really not that prominent. You would think it'd be way richer, but it isn't really. Nothing bad about it. Seemed like the 8 year was better than the 10. But you say, oh no, that's $10 difference per bottle. I know, but I don't know. Let's go with the taste. So I woke up too late. I never got to check any scores. I know that Virginia won. Auburn fans would say won, the championship. Well, that's a lot of burn. It's only 80 proof, but that's only 80 proof. That's a lot of burn. That's a lot of alcohol burn, man. That's a lot of alcohol burn. You'd think 10 years in the barrel would smooth it out a little more than it did, but it hadn't. But look at the Gibson's Finest, 12 years, and that thing is jackhammer harsh. And then the wood on there will bite you. That thing's got some pretty harsh wood notes. The Gibson's shouldn't be that harsh, I don't think. This is a very strange product. It is so light. Now, I don't know what to say about Skol, really. I guess since Skol came out in 56, I should put it in my left hand, left to right. Isn't that how we read in America? And then the Gran Reserva Diez to my right. This is such a light. It's almost like it ought to be called Skol Light Gold. They call it Skol. It's really called Skol Rich Gold Rum. Rich Gold Rum. I don't think it's rich. I mean, I don't know what that's about. It's thin. It's like it's look at it. Look how light it is. Boy, these glasses take fingerprints so bad. If you ever want to commit a crime, don't use these glasses. They'll catch you so quick. Drives me crazy with these fingerprints. You barely touch it. Must be sensitive to oil. But I never seen anything so light. Well, yeah, I have water. But I don't know if I've ever seen a beer this light. Even Michelob Ultra's got more color than this. Woo. Man, this is about the least gold rum you'll ever get. That's gold, still called gold, because it is nearly like a white rum. And I've never had a white rum in my life, but I've sure seen them, you know. Look at that. Even the body's light. Look, it's swishing around like water. I know it can't be a mistake. It's got to be like that. Golly. But it has a very pleasant and interesting wood flavor. I have a feeling I will never get this confused with another rum. It's just too distinct. Mm. There is almost like a lemon lime undertaste. You say lemon lime, lemon lime. He's really cracked up. Go ahead and get Clubhouse Gin and you'll see. Well, you know, gin, you know, they can put those botanicals in there. So, but you get the Clubhouse Gin. Go ahead and buy a bottle of Clubhouse Gin and tell me that doesn't have a lemon lime flavor. And that's not a flavored gin. You know, it's just like a standard gin, Clubhouse, that you'll probably never see in any country clubhouse. But you know how those budget brands go. They try to look so aristocratic, like Aristocrat. It's very medicinal. It's very like rubbing alcohol. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like alcohol. Like you went to the doctor and you got your arm cut and they putting they cleansing it. It's antiseptic. Yeah, this would be good to kill germs. It's antiseptic. And it has this wood, this white oak. It's got to be white oak. It must be white oak. But anyway, it's strange. It's unusual. It's odd. It's weird. It's peculiar. But I have to admit, it doesn't taste bad. There's nothing offensive about it. It doesn't repel a person. You don't jump back and say, ugh. You just say, it's strange. Whereas the Gibsons, I've jumped back a little bit and said, oh, now I know you say, but you gave it a B+ in the solo review. I did. It is true. But what did I preach about earlier? Don't put the stuff in competition. Very interesting product. Now, no, it's not better than the Gran Reserva Diez. That's a much nicer. This is a much nicer product. It had better well be a much nicer product if it's $36 more, $37 more, $37 more per bottle, and we're not even talking about the same bottle size, $750 as opposed to $1,000. So we're talking about way more expensive relative to the Skol. So it had better be better. Now, see, that's sugary sweet and wood. Now, on the website, they describe all these, all kind of different fruits, all kind of different things. And I'm thinking, I don't know where that, but they're experts on it. I'm not. Yeah, there's like a little leather, a little honey, and caramel and all that. But mainly, really, it's just like brown sugar and caramel and sweetness. There's a lot of body. It's a medium body, even to high medium, really. And the finish kind of lingers around with the wood and all. So it's a sipper. It's designed to be a sipper. You know, you sip on it. People say, what's going on? What are you doing? And you say, I'm just sipping. All right. And the Skol, you know, the Skol is not designed to be a sipper. Who in the world is going to sip this except for me? But if you break all the rules and you start to sip it, you'll pick up some interesting items with it. It's not just all wretched. In fact, it isn't wretched, but it is grain rubbing alcoholish, Ned. It's a little peculiar. Golly, the body is thin. I'll say this much. If you're used to drinking Skol, look at those legs on it though. See, this thing should not perform this high. This thing should be just a joke. It's overperforming, I have to say. But let's say you only drink Skol rum, gold, rare gold, rich gold rum, Skol rich gold rum. And then somebody introduce you to the Bacardi Gran Reserva. You might gag because you say, that stuff's too thick. You know what I mean? Like you would say, that stuff's like syrup. Yeah. If you thought this was like syrup, you ought to go drink the Myers's extra dark. Johnny Neely was saying that's like a syrup almost. It doesn't pour out the glass. It almost like, you know, syrup will kind of run out the glass, or what? Almost has like a solidity to it. Well, anyway, this was not a real challenge, but it was a challenge. It just wasn't challenging. You know what I'm saying? It was easy when you can guess it on aroma only. Now, what's the last one? I probably won't be able to do it till next week. But, oh well. Next week, how about Bacardi Gran Reserva Diez versus Aristocrat Gold? That was a very interesting product. People are laughing, say everything you drink is interesting. It is, really. It's just that some things are a little bit more interesting than others, but they all have their little qualities. Even the detriments can be interesting. You know what I mean? Like if you drink one that's horrendous, it'd be interesting. You just wouldn't drink it again. Yeah, Bacardi Gran Reserva Diez versus the Castillo Aristocrat Gold. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I don't think I'll get them mixed up. Then we'll go back around and start again with Bacardi Reserva Ocho, the 8-year, and we'll do it against the Bacardi Gold, Castillo Gold, Skol Gold, and the Aristocrat Gold. Then we'll do the Castillo Gold, and we'll go up against Skol and Aristocrat. And then we'll get Skol, and we'll go up against Aristocrat. And that'll be the end of that tournament. And get ready, because then we're getting into the white rum. We're getting into the white rum. And I've never had a white rum in my life. And people laugh and say, you lied too much, because everybody has had white rum. Well, not me. I never even have tried tequila. People talk to me at work and they say, you have tried tequila. I said, no, I haven't. I tried those beers, some of those margarita-like beers that try to mimic tequila, because they age them in a tequila. So I have an idea of what the agave tastes like. I don't think I would like it too much, you know. But actual tequila, nah, I ain't never tried it. Now, Jeremy says, we doing Gallo Family Merlot this week? This I don't know, but I have an idea now. And now I'm going to get off the air. Jeremy, remember, you might have noticed on Beer Talk, Michael Comro said they got something to do, so you can't join tomorrow night. And then I assume Eric's going to be off doing band practice. Hey, well, why don't we do Gallo Family Merlot tomorrow night for Wild Card Wednesday? But instead of Wild Card Wednesday, we could do Gallo Family Merlot. You want to do it? I want to do it. Johnny Neely wants to examine it. I think Jean-Pierre wants to examine it. There's no rule, law, requirement that we have to do beer every Wednesday. I don't think we do. No one's going to control us like that. So let's do it. I'm going to propose that. Let's do Gallo Family Merlot tomorrow night, Wednesday. And that'll be fine. It's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Okay. Thanks for watching. Sounds good. Just let me know what you decide. I'm going to go put that on Beer Talk in about 5 minutes. So it'll be Wine Talk 2019 now for tomorrow. Thanks for watching this video production. Skol does not win. But on the other hand, you know what? It's not doing too bad. It's not doing too bad for $6.99 a liter. I would say go out and get it and try it. It's if you like things that taste kind of strange, you know, this would be something to check out.